Whether you're just delving into the world of voiceover,
You're an established voice actor,
or you just want to listen to some unfiltered thoughts and opinions about the industry.
then this podcast is for you.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Jen, and this is the Off Air Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another
the
episode.
Off Air Voiceover Podcast.
That's the one.
Good morning.
That was a really weird, awkward intro, wasn't it? Like, are we gonna anyway? I feel like a lot of ours start like that, but anyway, we'll work on that. Today we are joined by another guest, and we've got the amazing Carla Terry with us today. Hello, Carla.
Hello, lovely
An
to be here.
absolute
We're so
bundle of
excited.
positive
Yeah.
energy.
If anyone follows her on Instagram or LinkedIn, she's always in positive mode, always motivating, and that's partly one of the reasons I wanted to get her on, because to share that joy with the wider audience.
Thank
you
you.
for
That's
coming on,
very.
Carla.
Oh, thank you so much
No
for having
pressure,
me.
yeah, to be
No pressure. No
upbeat. If you're having a
Yeah.
bad day, I'm sorry.
Yeah, shall I just be like this?
Yeah, can you imagine?
It's, it's all the
Very
front. Like,
grumpy face right now.
everyone's like, oh, she's always so positive and smiling, and then come on the pod, it's like, it's just all the front. I'm actually a
Yeah,
miserable bastard.
it's been a really horrible week, and I'm tired.
Exactly. She's so miserable. She's so miserable.
But if you can fake it the way you do, I mean, kudos to you.
Fake it till you
Well,
make it.
But isn't it all faking it to a degree with voiceover, because you are pretending to be somebody?
Yeah, good point. Fair point.
Carla, you happy just to give us a bit of introduction to yourself? Is that okay? So that anyone doesn't know you.
Yes. Okay, so my name's Carla. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm a voiceover artist. I voice lots and lots of live events. That's where I
Mm.
started 14 years ago. I've been doing it 14 years
Wow.
in a field. And I then started exploring other voiceover genres, started training in 2021. I now
Mhm.
do lots of corporate work and commercial work as well, plus all the live event stuff. So busy,
It's so
and
cool. It's so cool
yeah.
because I feel like we started around the same time, and
Yeah,
you're one of the first person that I knew maybe in like
yeah,
2021.
yeah.
So it's been amazing to see your trajectory, and how well you're doing. I'm so pleased for you.
Thank
And I
you,
think
Jen,
as
and
such,
me to you.
thank you. And I think obviously you're very talented, but I think so much of that and my success is down to the hustle, is down to the putting the work in.
Hustle.
And
Yeah,
honestly, when I see you post, I'm like, oh my God, like you get up at 5 a.m., don't you?
I do. I get up at 5 a.m., sometimes earlier, because I'm wide awake. But that's more to do with my age, Jen. Um, but I, but
Bad time to take a drink.
it
just
really, it
spat
really,
water
really is.
everywhere.
I wake up because I voice a lot of triathlons as well in summer
Yeah.
season. I just naturally wake up at probably about between 4 and 4, and my brain is wide awake, and I'm a morning person, so I'm like, I
I'm
might
like
as well
the
get up and do
undead
some
at
stuff.
that point.
Undead. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I sort of wish it wasn't like that, but I do get so much done in
But you
those
don't
morning
just
hours.
then slob around, you
Yeah.
actually get on it, don't you?
Get
I do.
stuck
I
in.
used to. Well, I think this is the thing, right? So when I first started when I first started exploring other genres of voiceover, and I thought, right, now I'm going to really start to take my career seriously,
Mhm.
because I have been live announcing for 14 years, and I only ever treated it as a hobby, because I didn't
Yeah.
even know it was a real job. I was like, well, it's not really a real job.
That's
Who does
amazing that you're
this?
doing it that long and you
Yeah, I know.
still saw it.
I know, and I was like, because I I had kids and they were
Yeah.
really diddy, and I was at home, and it was just a part-time thing.
Mhm.
And then in 2020, I thought, no, I think actually this might be something. Like, quite a few businesses are paying me to be the voice of their events. And
Mhm.
then I started exploring it more, and then started exploring other genres of voiceover, which is completely different, by the way,
Yeah.
to voicing a live event. It's like two polar opposites. They are completely different. And then when I first started training, as you know, it is learning there is so much
Yeah.
stuff to
Yeah.
Oh,
learn,
it's so
so
Definitely.
much.
overwhelming at first.
It is overwhelming, and you're like, oh my God, I've got to learn the performance, I'm going to have the coaching, the tech, the marketing. Like, once
Mhm.
you've learned, or you don't stop learning,
No.
but then you've got to start marketing yourself, because there's no point in having all these skills and not telling the world about what you do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So to begin with, probably a couple of years ago, I would just, drop the kids off, come home, do a bit of this, and then get very easily distracted by, I don't know, the washing machine's on, or a school admin emails come in, or, oh, just all of a sudden I've got to order something on Amazon. So I was like, that isn't time effective.
Yeah.
It's about putting the hours in and making sure that those hours I have are productive. I'm the most productive. So then I started waking up really, really early anyway, just because. And I thought, why don't I just do my marketing then? So between 5 and 7, that's it. That is my marketing slot. Then the kids wake up, and then I'm like full-time mum, 7 till 9, and then I'm back on. And I basically time block my day now, and I have a plan every night. I know exactly what I'm doing the next day. I know exactly
So you
what I'm
sit
doing
down the
the day
night
after,
before and do a plan for the following day. Yeah.
Well, that's
every
fantastic.
single
Yeah. So you can
day.
hit the ground running. Let's paint us a picture. So are you
Yeah.
wearing a dressing gown? I mean, this is maybe a bit irrelevant, but I kind of want to get in the mindset. Like, have you got dressed
Wow.
before this point? Or
Well,
yeah.
it's interesting. It's interesting. I can understand why you've asked that, because no, it's all
It's
about
not
the
a weird
mindset.
question.
No, because
Where is
Does
this
yes,
going?
sound quite weird though.
Where is
well,
this going, Jeff?
What are
so,
you wearing, Carla?
so how many sugars you put in your coffee? Like, it's like,
Do you mean
call your slippers.
am I like power dressed for the day? Am I like, right, come on with my power suit?
your big
Is that
But
what
here's
you
the
shoulder
thing.
mean?
So
pads
what I was going to say was, like, in a different life, when I was in my old line of work, when I first started working for myself, I was so used to going to a corporate job every day, and you put your suit on and
Yeah.
you do your thing. And then when I started working from home, I'd come downstairs at like probably like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd sit there and I'd be like, just feeling a bit groggy and whatever. And I was like, I need to get into work mode. So I would dress as if I was going to an office. I'm not going
That
anywhere.
makes sense.
I'd go down, but I'd put my shirt on, put my tie on,
Yeah.
get fully dressed up,
Even
and
tie.
I went
Wow.
full in, because it was just about the mindset. I felt like if I, for me personally, I was like, if I sit there and feel like messy or like a scruffy or whatever, I couldn't engage as well. When I was at work, I was dressed to go to work. The mentality was work mode, and I just tried to apply that in the home, because I wasn't going anywhere, but I tried to
Yeah.
feel
It's
like
so
I
interesting
was.
though, like further down the line, like before this episode started, Michael and I had a conversation about should he wear a vest or a t-shirt? Like
It's so hot in here.
You love a vest. You love a vest, Mikey, as well, don't
Yeah.
you?
I only when it's really, really warm. I think they're a bit posy. I don't like wearing them if I can avoid it.
Well,
But
I
it's
think,
so
it just
hot in here.
shows the
You're like The
development of
Rock.
your journey anyway. You
Yeah.
can't have another podcast we talk about The Rock.
No.
I do love The Rock though.
You're like the VO
Johnson.
Rock.
Oh, well,
Oh my God, that's a whole new branding in
I'll
itself.
take it. But
You'll take
it's
it.
it's a bit much, but I'll take it. But no. So anyway,
Back to suits.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
go. So yeah. So as
Power
Jen
dressing.
said,
So
so
what
your
are you
like
wearing?
your routine. Do you sort of go in straight into work mode? Do you just literally wake up,
Yeah.
brush your teeth, and crack on?
No, I wake up, wake up, go to toilet, go downstairs, make a cup of tea, and then I'm in my dressing gown, my slobby stuff, and I'm literally on that computer.
Right,
And
okay.
I don't check emails. I have my marketing list, and I'm direct email marketing. That's what I do.
Amazing. And
Then,
are you personalizing each of those marketing
yeah.
emails or yeah?
And then, or I might give myself a goal. I might give myself a goal of, right, I'm going to send, I don't know, 20 emails or 10 emails, and then I'll make another cup of tea. And I get to that, and then I make another cup
Amazing.
of tea. Then I sit down, and it's just emails. That's all I do in the morning.
Mhm.
Then the kids wake up, and then I'm like, right, okay, that's it. I have to stop that now, and then go
Yeah.
into school mum mode, and then come back to that later. I think the key is that you have to do what works for you. You
Yeah.
have to do what works for your lifestyle, whether you're fitting it in around another job, a full-time job.
Yeah.
You have to do what works for you. And the most important thing, really, and I listen to a lot of people about motivation and mindset and things. I'm really fascinated by it. You can be motivated, but the most important thing you need to do to grow your business is be consistent and take action.
Yeah.
You have
Absolutely.
to take action. If you
Yeah.
don't take action, then nothing will get done. That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Everyone can be motivated. I'm going to send 20 emails, or I'm going to run a marathon, or I'm going to stop eating crisps. That's a one motivational thing. Everybody can do that. But if you're not consistent in doing those things or not doing those things, and then you're not taking action, then you're not going to
It
get
will never
anywhere.
happen.
Yeah.
And I think that ties in with, sorry, Michael, really nice to what you're saying though about the trusting the process, because I know a lot of people can get really disheartened sending emails because sometimes you don't hear back. Quite often you don't hear back, or it's further down the line. So just trusting that it does work. You will hear back at some point. It might be 2 years time, but at some point, these things come to fruition.
You've got. That's the thing. You've got to plant those seeds.
Yeah.
Like, so I saw this Gary V. He said something. I can't remember exactly what the phrase was, but paraphrasing a little bit. But he basically said, "There's so many self-help books, motivational speakers, this, that, and another one, but there comes a point where they're all giving you the same message. You've just got to do it.
Just got to get
You
And he
know
said,
what you've got to
just
do.
don't be
Just
that
fucking
person.
doing it.
Start taking action, and don't be that person that just consumes lots and lots of audiobooks,
Yeah.
doesn't actually do anything with it." That's
Yeah.
essentially what he's
Exactly.
saying. And
Yeah.
and I can slightly put myself in that category, because I do love self-help books. I love the motivation.
Same.
But ultimately, they're not going to do it for you. You can consume all
Yeah.
that information and get a little
Yeah.
spring in your step, but then it comes down to like, right, now I've got to do it. And one of my biggest problems is consistently, massively, because
Mhm.
it's not that I can't be bothered. It's not because don't feel like I need to. It's none of those things. I just really struggle to stay focused, and my mind just goes off on so many different tangents, and I struggle to stay stuck to one task for a long period of time. And it annoys me. It annoys me a lot because I see all around me the fruits of that labor when you just stay consistent. It's not rocket science. It's dead simple process.
It's
Put the work in,
basics.
get the
Yeah.
results. That's it. There's no special formula to it. Just put the work in, the results
Yeah.
will come. It might not happen overnight, a week, a month,
No.
maybe even a year in some cases, but it will come if you put the work in. So yeah,
It
so I think you
it
say about
does.
trusting the process and not seeing something straight away. That's not something to be disheartened by.
But no, and also I know that I get emails all the time. Some of it's spam, some of it isn't, some of it is stuff that I'm interested in. And then and then I'm like, I must come back to that. And I forget because it just gets
Mhm.
swallowed up in
Yeah.
the inbox.
So
And
true.
then 3 days later or a week later, I'm like, oh my God, I haven't I haven't replied to that email. And I think the thing is, you can't take somebody not replying to you as personal. We are all busy. We are so
Yeah.
busy. We all lead busier lives. And you just have to keep reminding people and being top of mind,
Yeah.
because you never know when that email will land. And in fact, that has happened today. I sent out an email this morning to a company that I've emailed 4 times, and I've never heard anything back. And then this morning they got back to me. Thanks ever so much. We normally use a pay-to-play platform, but send us your reels. So I'm like, that one landed.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well
Brilliant.
done.
And that, yeah, exactly. And that, but it's doing the work.
Voice of God is what
Yeah.
I originally got to know you for, not
Yeah.
just through your content, and obviously through over time, through you just get to know people a bit better, don't you?
Yeah.
And I always found your videos really infectious to watch because you look like you're having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're out amongst people who are also having a great time, so it just looked like a really fun experience. But um, so yeah, so you've been at such a long time. So just talk to us about how did that come about initially, and then sort of what does a typical live event look like? Is it all
Mm,
pre-planned, scripted? Like, have you
yeah.
got to think on your feet and like any funny
Oh my
stories
God.
or experiences?
Oh,
Like,
oh, I've got a bucket of funny stories. Maybe not for this, maybe for the
No, always for
off
this
air.
one.
oh no,
No.
no, no, it's
We
okay.
all
You
want it
can say
all.
whatever you like. Don't worry.
What's an okay.
Rated R.
So I started voicing live events because I used to teach fitness, and then I was at a friend of mine was organising a sports event. This was years ago in Richmond Park, and he said, "Can you just say a few things on the microphone?" And I was like, "Oh my God, like what?" He's like, "I don't know, just hi everybody, welcome, maybe just warm them up." And I basically stuttered and it was non-scripted, unscripted. So I basically stuttered and stumbled, and just got through that. And then he then asked me to do more voicing of these events. But that's more emceeing. So for those scenarios, it's unscripted and I am the
Yeah.
voice of that event to welcome
Great
everybody and
improv
get people
practice.
going. It is thinking on your feet
Yeah.
because in live events,
Yeah.
everything changes. And because you don't have a script, you just
That was so
basically
dramatic the way you said that. Everything changes.
Everything
Like
changes.
trailer
everything
voice is
changes.
in your future, I
Yeah,
think.
it does. It's like rip up the brief and off you go
Yeah.
again. And
Yeah.
sometimes I haven't had an event brief through until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night the night before. And you have
Mhm.
to go through it all and remember what you're saying, what's the key information, highlight everything. There is so much work that goes on before you even pick up the microphone and start speaking that people think it looks like you're just getting up and talking. Why would you be charging X amount of money to just get up and talk? Because that's all you're doing. But there is so much more
There's
to it than
much
that.
more to it, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is quite exhausting because it generally tends to be long hours.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing something like I've done some fantastic events. And I work with the Great Ormond Street Hospital. I work with them every year, and I am the main voice of their event. And I've done that for 14 years.
Wow.
I've done some ultras, which I
Yeah.
said I'd never do again. Where I was on the mic.
Ultras.
Oh, so an ultra run, voiced an ultra run. So
What,
that's
like a
like a
tough mudder or
50,
something?
you're talking a 50,
No.
60 mile running event.
Yeah.
They go off at 6, they come back at 11 o'clock at night.
I used to
And
look into those when I was more into running and like, oh my goodness, be so exciting.
Yeah, it
Well,
is.
this might sound like a stupid question because I don't know anything about these things. So, do you have to
No,
like go with them and like comment
no,
live as it's happening,
Jogging
or
no, no.
along.
Yeah,
no,
no.
no? I thought like just driving. Look, because like it's like trucks go along.
Yeah,
You know, when it's the races, they have a
Oh
car that
yeah,
goes along the
yeah,
horses and
yeah.
stuff. So I thought you just sit with
yeah.
them and do you have
No,
to live announce as things are happening in real time?
no, not for things like that. But that is very long out. So I would be basically in the event village. I'd be at the start doing all the welcome. Here's this, here's that, the information bit. Because generally with events, you sort of it very much depends. With an event, it kind of goes in three stages. There's the start, the middle, and then the end. So the start generally is you're setting the scene. You are the glue that holds the event together. And although I don't organize, I don't have anything to do with the logistics, I don't have anything to do with an event, I am just the voice. So I slot in as if I am part of the team.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is what makes somebody a good MC, announcer, live event announcer, or voice of God. Um, but the actual voice of God, where I've done award ceremonies and this corporate conference that I'm doing in Italy, that's again longish hours. But I will I will literally get up, and I always like to stand when I'm voicing a live event because you just have to use
Yes.
your
Yeah.
whole body
Yeah.
to get that message across. And I will. So, say for example, they do rehearsals at 7 a.m. in the morning. There's always something that goes wrong in events. Always.
Right.
Right. So I always make sure that as long as I know what I'm doing and as long as I know what I'm saying, I've done my job. And you just slot in with everybody else. But
Mhm.
there is always, it's high pressure. Because people start to flap, right?
Yeah.
A, uh, a video might not be ready, or the lighting isn't quite right, or the presenters don't know whether they're going on stage, off stage, left or right, or whether they're handing over here, handing over there. There's always a lot of that going on. So I quite like to observe everything. As long as I know what I'm doing, then
Yeah.
that's all I care about, really, in the nicest possible way. So with this corporate conference, I will literally get there and go through everything, make sure that I know there's lots of European pronunciations of the names. So you have to sit with somebody and say, exactly, how am I going to say this? And write it phonetically,
Phonetically. Yeah.
phonetically, yeah,
Basically.
phonetically, so that I know how to pronounce it. And then all the lights will go down, and then I'll do my one line. Yeah, for example, something like, welcome to the blah de blah de blah. Please welcome to the stage, so and so and so and so, da de das. Sit down for an hour. That's it. But I just find it really exciting. So my heart, you have to
Yeah. Oh,
control.
the adrenaline.
You have
Amazing.
got to control your nerves. A lot of it is about like you've got one shot. If you mess up, you mess up. That's
Yeah.
life. But you've got one shot to get it right. There isn't a second chance. So you have to make sure you get it right.
Gosh.
And a lot of times, sometimes it'll be come through the earpiece, or they'll just it'll be a hand signal. So the producer will say 30 seconds till we're going live, 10 seconds. And then I am literally glued to him like that. And then he'll give me the nod. And then it's welcome to the stage, da di da di da, and off you go.
Do you ever have it where you're
I'm so
actually?
excited just listening.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Do you ever have it on stage where you know what you're saying, but you've got a producer in your ear telling you what to say in real time as well. So your brain's sort of doing two different things. Like you see that with TV people, don't like the
Yeah.
producer. They're trying to present the news, or whatever, and they've got a
Yeah.
producer in their ear telling them what to say while they're already
Yeah.
remembering the stuff
Yeah.
they've got to say.
Yeah.
Well, right. I haven't had that in live events yet, but years ago in a previous life, I years ago in a previous life, I was one of the presenters for Foxy Bingo.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I did it. It was crazy. Foxy Bingo or 888 Bingo. I did like this little
oh
demo.
wait, he's talking about the presenters like when it's like 2 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, presenters. So your job, my job was there to just make people keep spending money, basically. So
Right, fascinating.
you're interacting with a live audience. So hi, for example, Mikey, Jen, how are you? And then you'd be like, yeah, I've had a great day, went out partying. Wow, what you wearing tonight? What did you have for dinner? So you're chatting in live real time, and then there'd be a little competition, and it's basically to keep people spending
Oh
money.
Keep them
God.
hooked in.
But
That
I did
sounds
have an
bleak
earpiece.
at 2
I did,
a.m.
yeah, I did have an earpiece, and that was really that is really hard because what tends to happen is if somebody's talking through your ear, you're doing and he's like, no, you don't say anything
Oh
like
my god. Imagine trying to do that hungover. Like, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
Oh, but I tell you what, I did do some. So going back to the live announcing thing, I have made some boo boos.
Oh, go on.
I've live announced. There was one time. It wasn't my fault. See, this is the thing. When things go wrong, it generally isn't your fault as a live announcer. But if you've announced something wrong, so it was for a Movember run, the charity Movember. Have you heard of Movember?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Men's
yeah.
mental health, yeah. And it was years ago when, do you remember the HP Source ad? Do you remember that where there was a guy? I can't remember his name. It was a few years ago. Anyway,
I
okay,
don't
it's whatever.
remember.
So the producer came to me and he said, right, can you announce that there is a free bacon sandwich for everybody? I said, free bacon sandwich? What, for everybody, runners and spectators? Yep, 100% free bacon sandwich. I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Right, everybody, listen to this free bacon sandwich. Next minute, no, not for everybody, just for the runners. And I'm like, oh, but, you told me
Yeah.
that it was for everybody, and it's things like that, and but I mean that sort of happens really. I just love the thrill of it. I
Yeah.
really
It
love the
sounds
thrill.
exciting. It
It
does
It is
sound
sounds really
exciting.
exciting,
exciting.
and I do think it's quite you do have to think on the spot. You do have to hold your nerve. It's
Yeah.
holding your nerve because anything can happen. Anything can go wrong, and you might have to suddenly make a quick announcement, or you might have to write an announcement very quickly, or anything. And when I was in Budapest a couple of years ago, I made the mistake. I mean, I do get nervous, but I control my nerves. I made the mistake of looking out behind the curtain.
Oh no.
I went behind the curtain and I was like, shit, there's 16,000 people out there. Like,
Oh my
that's quite
god.
scary.
Yeah. Wow.
That is
That's a lot.
And then
incredible.
I never peek
Yeah.
behind the curtain again. I'm just like, just do your thing. Stay in your lane.
But then isn't that better in a way to see it
Wow.
before and be like, okay, the 60, rather than just getting in front of the mic and be like, oh fuck. Like
Yeah.
maybe better to get that moment off stage.
Yeah, maybe. But also as well, you gotta. I always like to get to an event early because you want, and in a live event, you get a feel for the vibe,
Yeah, yeah,
the style, the tone of delivery, what kind of
yeah,
people are there, what's the venue like. And then if you
yeah,
haven't been told a style or tone of delivery,
yeah,
which mostly you're
yeah,
not, people don't generally go, can we have it upbeat? Can we do it? They just trust that you know
yeah.
exactly
We want it
how to
really
deliver that
somber,
line.
please. Just
Yes.
really
Yeah.
somber and low key.
Do you know what? I did have to make an announcement about the Queen. That was quite sad. I
Oh
did have to make an
gosh.
announcement for an event at the Imperial War Museum about it was just not long after the Queen had passed away, and I had to make an announcement about that, and
Ah,
that was sad. I did something a couple of weeks ago, which was really interesting. And it was I made a video montage of some work I'd done, and it wasn't particularly good, but I did it in Canva and I sort of stuck it together and thought, okay, do you know what? I'm just going to put it out there and see what happens. And then on LinkedIn, I put it out there and I put something like my hook was something like how on earth do video producers do it? Something like that. How do you spend hours editing clip after clip? The amount of comments I got from my ideal audience, it was like bingo. And that
that's
was a complete
amazing.
fluke. And I'm like, these are all people that
Yeah.
are my
And
people that
add and add and add.
exactly. And like DM and DM or
Yeah.
whatever, or connect, or thanks for commenting, da da da
hmm
da da. And they all were like, yeah, look, you've actually done a quite good job. I thought, well done for trying. And I was really
Brilliant.
surprised about that
That's
because I was like,
amazing.
I've tried, I thought it was okay, that was all right, but I made it on there. I
Yeah,
got
it
into
didn't matter
them.
what it's like because you were saying, you're
I
not the
was
expert, they are putting them in that
I was
position.
relating to them about how
Yeah.
hard is it to video edit. So they are my ideal audience. I'm like, geez, I didn't even think of that. Now that was a pure fluke. But it was about 30 comments of all my ideal audience going, well done for giving it a go. Yeah, it's
Love
hard. Well
it. So
done.
you're going to replicate that now? Are you going to try and do
I
that
That's
will.
brilliant.
more
Yeah.
often?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I will actually, but I might do event managers or I might
Yeah.
do audio engineers. You
Such a
know,
good idea.
you got to
Such a good idea.
you got to tap into those
Yeah, because
people.
there's only so much you can say about voiceover. Like, there's only so many, like, to a certain extent, you're kind of going over the same topics, aren't you? And there's different ways to do it, but it's a narrow field to a certain extent if you're focusing. If you're
Mm,
looking then at the other industries and putting yourself like in their shoes, then that's a whole extra branch, isn't it, that you can
yeah.
create content around.
And
For me,
exactly.
sorry.
And no, I was going to say, and the thing with social media as well, I actually don't like social media. I can't stand it. I don't post anything on my personal. I don't have personal stuff on social media. Very rarely, very rarely. I don't post on Facebook, although I've got jobs from Facebook. But for work, it is if you're not using it, even if you're not sure. And in fact, actually, at the moment, the way that this whole content and social media is going, and I don't know if you've noticed this on Instagram, it is all about that raw, unpolished
Yeah.
look. It is that raw. Oh, hello.
You
It
back?
is that. It's that raw, unpolished, not quite. A
Yeah.
bit, just a bit.
Yeah.
It's
Because it seems
relatable.
more
It's
authentic. Yeah.
normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I think
authentic.
for me, the thing about LinkedIn is that it's mainly words. And I like writing, but it's the thinking of what to say with it sounding genuine because there's so much guff on there. There really is. And like for me, Instagram is just because it's a bit more visual. It's a bit easier. Like I enjoy the stupid reels. I enjoy the other stuff, like the video
Yeah.
creation, but it's just the writing meaningful content. And maybe, I mean, people don't care, do they? I suppose it's just a reminder that you exist. So you're like, oh, it pops up and you're still there. You're still there.
I tend not to. I tend not to play too much in the LinkedIn playground, just purely because I haven't got a strategy for it yet. So I
Yeah.
feel like if I'm going to show up, I'd like to stay consistent with it and have and give myself a purpose as to why I'm there.
But you, Mikey, right? Just as I know this is now all about like therapy for you, but you know when we start this podcast and it's like if you are, what is the phrase when like if you are ready, then you should have started earlier. Like
Uh,
it's not going to be perfect.
Something to that effect. Yeah.
best time to start is yesterday or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Best time
like
to start is now.
start before you're ready.
Yes,
Start
start
before you're
before you're
ready.
ready.
Yeah.
So just put something out there and then it'll keep improving it. But if you wait for it to be perfect before you launch,
It's not so much I'm waiting for it to be perfect. It's just I don't have a clear idea of what the content like. Again,
that's because you've not experimented yet.
I know, but
Yeah.
I think sometimes I imagine some people get ideas for their next post based on what they see on LinkedIn, and they just do their own version of it. Like there's always something you can talk about.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just because of the type of person that I am. I'm not someone that posts stuff online to create conversation in certain ways. Like I enjoy reading stuff. I post little bits that I do, but otherwise behind the scenes, I just get on with it. And I've
Yeah.
just not played the social media game very much because it's just not my thing. But I know I'm missing out on a tremendous amount of opportunity. I'm well aware of that. But in the background, in my own little way, I'm just getting on with it and it's working for me. So, but I do want to try and integrate it in because I know there's a wealth of opportunity, particularly on LinkedIn. I mean, Instagram. I've always said I love Instagram, but there's no opportunities there. I think it's largely just like a.
I mean, there's some, but it's much
no,
fewer.
there
Far
is
fewer.
there'll be some, but it's
Yeah.
largely just a good place to connect with your colleagues and praise
Yeah.
work when you see it. But LinkedIn is, and there's certainly that is where
Say all the
I know the
hirers are there.
opportunities are.
The
Absolutely,
hirers,
yeah.
the
So you
The
just
decision makers are on LinkedIn, not
Yeah.
necessarily on Instagram, because on Instagram, it's generally if a company's big enough, it'd be their social media account
Yeah.
manager, whereas
Yeah.
LinkedIn,
Or personal, like people have it personal accounts on Instagram, don't they? So
yeah.
it's kind of dealing with
yes.
people as they're at home, even if they are a decision maker, it's them in their pajamas or playing around a golf or whatever. So
Yeah.
But you do what works for you, I think. What about
Yeah.
you, Jen? What's your viewpoint
Um,
on socials?
I like socials. I'm just like Mikey, I'm very scattergun. I used to be a lot more regimented and then I just everything else wasn't putting enough effort into the parts of my marketing and things. So it took a backseat. And I kind of lost the joy for it a little bit with certainly with Instagram. Um and I keep thinking I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this thing consistently. And again, I don't. And it falls and I think too big sometimes and I get a bit overwhelmed and then it doesn't happen or it happens once, then you can't keep it up because it's taking you 7 hours to create this thing. And I need to maybe lower my sights and just be like, I'm just going to post something. I'm just going to spend 10 minutes. But I think what you said about planning the content it's the kind of thing
Yeah.
you should be doing, but I'm not. And I think I need to. So like on a Sunday, I need to be thinking, okay, so I'm going to create my content or, and put it and get it in LinkedIn scheduled or whatever, because, I don't have a great deal of time. So,
No.
but just getting more planned. Carla, I'd love to know, like, what's next for you? Like, what are you thinking? Like, what are you
Oh.
excited about?
Well, I'm excited about lots of things. Well, I'm excited because I was nominated for an award.
Yes, of course you were.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And
So
are you
very
going to One Voice?
yeah, going to One Voice and the evening. So very excited about that.
So
That's
this
one thing.
podcast will be going out the week leading up to One Voice.
Okay.
So We want to know what you're
Fabulous.
wearing, etc. at some point. But finish what you're saying about that first.
No, I haven't even had a chance to think about what I'm wearing or anything like that, Jen. You know what it's like? It's like, oh my God, I just haven't had a chance to think about that because the week after, so the Budapest job, those people from 2 years ago,
Yeah.
the production company didn't get the contract last year, but they have got it again this year, and they've asked me to go back. So
Oh,
I'm actually going out to Italy for a little
amazing.
5-day corporate conference the week after One Voice.
Oh, nice.
Pretty much
That's
straight.
so
Yeah,
cool. Well
yeah.
done.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. How about you, Jen?
I'm excited actually because at One Voice, I might not be nominated for an award like you two,
You're
but
doing
I've
the
been
you're.
cast. Yeah, been
I
cast
saw
in
that.
the audio drama.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot to ask you about this. Yeah, you've been
It's
Yeah,
casting it.
amazing.
I'm really chuffed.
Well
It's really
done.
nice. Yeah, and I'm really excited to work with Helen and Andrew.
So
That's
how,
wicked.
that is wicked. I
Yeah.
saw that. So, are you going to be doing that with a hangover?
Yeah. Yes, quite possibly. Um,
Dribbling on
What?
your page, like.
oh no, don't
Amazing.
say that. There'll be no
You'll be
dribbling.
parched.
Yeah. Some of this in the morning after. Yeah.
Jen's version of the Batman voice.
Yeah. Yeah. This has been so interesting, Carla. It's been so
Oh,
lovely
it's
to
been
hear you
lovely
talking
to
about
chat
it.
to you both. Haven't
I
spoken to
would,
you for ages.
before we let you go,
Yeah,
say you've got a voiceover artist who is not feeling very motivated. If
yeah.
they're feeling like maybe they're not good enough, or they're not seeing return on marketing, or they can't be asked to start marketing, have you got one thing that you'd say to inspire them?
Take action. Take action. Do one thing. Just do something. Just do one thing because we all get those days where, oh, it's not working. I haven't heard from anyone for ages, or I haven't booked a job for a while, or I can't be bothered. I don't think I've actually, I very rarely feel I can't be bothered. But, everybody has to start somewhere. Everybody's at different levels of their journey in voiceover. Everybody's gone through something like this. Or reach out to somebody that inspires you and say, hey, I'm not quite feeling it today. Give us a bit of inspiration and leave me a snazzy voice note.
Love it. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good.
And also, I would just like to add as well, this industry is so friendly and welcoming that there is
Yeah.
always somebody to reach
Yeah.
out to who has either gone through or what you're doing, or can inspire you, or can help you solve the tech, whatever it is, or point you in the direction of somebody that can help with coaching. There's always somebody. It's such a friendly industry.
Yeah,
Although
Yeah.
you're on your own, you're
100%.
not actually on your own.
All right, well, listen, Carla, honestly, thank you tremendously for taking the time to talk to us. And obviously, we could just keep going on and on and on. And sincerely, thank you for divulging with us. And, I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks at One Voice.
One
Great
voice.
to chat. Nice to see you. Have a lovely weekend.
Thank you so much,
And you.
Carla. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Take care. Take care, folks. See you on the next one.
Bye. See you in the next one. Bye.